welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a new video, and today I wanted to share some of the best and the absolute worst concealers I tried out this year on my channel. In today's video, you're only going to see new release concealers that was released this year in 2022. I'm not going to talk about concealers that I picked up this year that has been released like the year before or just been out for a while. I kept track of every single concealer that was new released this year, and I tried out a lot of them, which I'm surprised at myself, just super picky, and I just don't be in a rush to try out new concealers just because a lot of them don't work for me. But before we get started, if it is your first time watching, please hit the subscribe button, and if you are a returning subscriber, don't forget to hit the like button. I'm going to start with the worst, and surprisingly, all of the worst concealers I tried out this year I pretty much decluttered in my declutter video, so I only have the best concealers physically to show y'all, but the rest of them that are the worst in my opinion, I will just be talking about them, and I'll pop a picture on the screen and you can go check out that review if you want to see a more in-depth review of whatever it is I'm sharing that is the worst concealer. So I'm going to be starting with the worst concealer, and the first one that I feel is the absolute worst concealer that was released this year is the Decay concealer. I don't know the exact name, but I'll have a picture popped on the screen. This concealer feels very dry. There's not a lot of shades. I believe there's about 15 shades. Also, this concealer is crease instantly. This is not a long wearing concealer. You're not going to get a lot of coverage. And I noticed when I tried it out, you know how when you have a concealer for a couple months and it starts to feel dry, or like when you open it up, it kind of, you know, it has that dry texture. That's what the Decay concealer feels like, a very dry concealer. That's why I consider it as one of the worst concealers in my opinion. And the next concealer that I feel is the absolute worst, and I know a lot of people on YouTube go up for Charlotte Tilbury, but the Beautiful Skin concealer that was released this year, I feel like that's absolutely one of the worst concealers I tried out. There's not a lot of shades. It's not a lot of coverage. And the main thing I hate about the Charlotte Tilbury concealer is that it has like this glitter, almost like highlighter kind of look once you blend it out. I'm a 36-year-old woman. I don't want glitter under my under eyes. I don't want to look like I have highlighter on under my under eyes, and that's what that is to me, a concealer with a lot of glitter in it. I don't want that under my eyes. The main reason why I dislike it. Also, it creased on me. I just don't like that concealer. I feel like that one can definitely be put in the garbage, and that's where I put it at, is in the garbage. The concealer that I would consider the absolute worst is the Lawless Conceal the Deal Concealer. This is another one that is not long wearing. It creases right away. This will settle into every single fine line you have under your eye. So that is very hard to blend out. Like, you definitely need to go in with a damp sponge to blend it out. It dries down way too quickly. I just hate it. That's another one that I put in the trash this year because it's just awful. So now let's just jump right into the best concealers. In my opinion, these were my absolute favorites, and a lot of these concealers that I will be sharing have made it into like holy grail status for me. That's how much I like them, and that's how much I've been using them this year since they were released and I tried them out on my channel. And the first one I will be starting with is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer. Y'all, this is a really nice affordable concealer. It is full coverage. It isn't too drying under the under eye. They have a ton of shades. Again, it's priced at a nice price point. I like this concealer a lot. I have two shades, and the shade I use if I want a bright under eye look is the shade 33.5 wide. This has a golden undertone, and when I first reviewed this on my channel, I did use the shade 44 wide. This shade is doable, but it's not going to give me like a bright under eye look. I like these concealers way better than the Best Skin Ever foundation from Sephora. I would highly recommend these. Like, there's no way you cannot find a shade that will work. It has definitely made it up to top 5 status in my opinion. This is the Dior Backstage Concealer. When I first tried this out, I wasn't a fan of it. I do feel like Dior definitely can work on the shades and the undertone. They need to do that in general when it comes to a lot of their complexion products, but this is really good if you want light coverage. This is easy to blend out. I use the shade 4W and the shade 5N. I feel like 5N I can actually use as a foundation if I wanted to. 4Y gives me like a bright under eye look. It's not going to give me like a super bright, but it's enough for me. I actually like it. This is not full coverage. This is more medium to light. I just love this concealer. And also, this does not crease on me. That's one of my main problems with concealers, is that they crease or they settle into fine lines. So this isn't drying. Like, I highly recommend this concealer. Again, when I first tried it out, I was like, but over time, once I constantly start using it, I just fell in love with this concealer. Like, I absolutely love it. And I also have a backup of it. That's how much I like. This concealer that I will be sharing definitely has made it into holy grail status for me. Now, this was sent to me to try out, and the fact that it was sent to me has no influence on my opinion of this concealer. I just really like it a lot. It is on the pricey side. This is the Clea peau concealer stick. I think that's the correct name of it. But anyway, y'all, I freaking love this concealer. The first person who mentioned this to me was None of Your Business, and I was like, I don't know, girl. $85 is kind of a lot. But the people at Clea peau were nice enough to send me a few shades. And the shade that I use constantly is the shade Toffee. I don't have that in front of me. I have two other shades. I think it's Cocoa and Hazelnut, I believe. But the shade Toffee is like my go-to shade. I feel like the best way I could describe how that shade looks, I know a lot of people like the Hourglass concealer, the Hourglass Vanish, the shade Maple. A lot of people like how that looks. I would describe Toffee as looking pretty much identical to that. Now, I'm not a fan of the Hourglass concealer, so I'm not comparing them in no way. I just want to describe the shade to you, being that I don't have it in my hand right now. But this is easy to blend out. It is also very long wearing. They don't have a ton of shades, but if you're around my complexion, you can find a shade that will work for you. It is on the pricey side. Once I run out of this, I am going to go out and spend my own money to pick this up. That's just how much I like this concealer. I believe they're absolutely worth the $80–$85. Like, this is a really nice concealer. It looks so flawless under the under eyes. Like, you need this. I don't know if these are going to go on sale at Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's, but if they do, I will highly recommend y'all pick these up. That's not drying. They ain't going to settle into any fine lines under your under eyes. This is one of my go-to. This is holy grail status. The last concealer that I feel was the absolute best concealer that came out this year, and I know it might surprise a few of y'all, made it into holy grail status with the Clea peau concealer, with my Givenchy Tint Couture concealer, with my Armani Luminous Silk concealer. This is right up there. This is my most used concealer of 2022. I love this concealer. I use this almost anytime I put makeup on. But anyway, y'all, it's the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. I have two shades of these. I use the shade Peanut Butter and the shade Brittle. Y'all, I just love this concealer. This gives you a nice amount of coverage. It isn't drying. It's easy to blend out. It gives you that flawless under eye look. It doesn't settle into any fine lines. This is super, super long wearing. This is one of my favorite concealers that came out this year. If you have not tried this out, I don't know why. I feel like these are priced at about $30–$35. They're not expensive. They're pretty affordable. You have a nice shade. I don't have any preference as far as which shade that I reach for more. Go with whatever's in front of me. Now, the shade Brittle has more of a golden undertone, and Peanut Butter is a little more on the red side as far as undertone. That would be the only difference. Anyway, y'all, that is it. Those are the best and the worst concealers of 2022. Y'all let me know in the comment sections what concealers were your favorites and what are ones that you feel are the absolute worst. Y'all let me know. Also, have you tried out any of these concealers? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Let me know in the comment section. And most importantly, y'all, do not forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.